lot of people don't know how to properly kick a ball. Now, I know a lot of people might think that playing soccer is easy, doesn't take a lot of skill, the ball is very small and the net is huge and you can score easily. It's a different way of thinking. It's actually way easier said than done, but from personal experience, for growing up and playing for years, it is definitely not that easy. And this is a game that I love, so spreading it and showing people how to properly play is definitely something that I am passionate about and contribute to people who grow up and want to play soccer. So I'm going to teach you the basics of how to properly kick, pass, shoot a ball. I'm obviously inside, so I'm not going to I'm not going to obviously kick the ball very hard or strong or anything like that. But so the basic of using a soccer ball, this is obviously a soccer ball. When people usually think of a ball or have it on the ground, the first instinct when kicking it is a toe ball like that or something, not using the proper technique. So growing up and playing soccer, you're taught that technique over and over again. Toe balling is obviously not the proper way to kick a ball. You definitely want to like for instance, when I'm passing the ball to a teammate of mine or to anybody, you use the inside part of your foot, which is right here. I took my shoes off so I could show you thoroughly what it looks like when you're actually passing a ball. So you're going to want to pass it in this part of your foot. You have more strength and area to use when you're passing the ball instead of just toe balling it. Toe balling it's more narrow and you're not really going to know where it's going to go. So when you're passing it, you use the inside sole. So when you pass it, it's like that. I've done this technique so many times, thousands of times, that when I kick a ball, I can't properly just toe ball it because it's very weird to me and I don't like it. So now that's step one of the basic. I could show you a lot of techniques, but properly that is the number one technique for passing that you really need. I would say when you're shooting a ball, again, toe balling or hitting as hard as you can with the inside of your, outside of your foot like this is not really, it is, but it isn't the right way. When you're actually kicking the ball, you position yourself. I'm going to try my best to position myself, but usually when you're going up to the ball, you usually are like this, and when you're about to kick it, you actually kick it. You kind of curl your toes inside, but in the boot you can't really see it because it's happening so fast. You're usually going to want to hit it right here, and it depends on how you're shooting, so there's different techniques. You can shoot like this, and usually that's more power and stuff, so you're usually just going for power, and most of the time it's a 50-50 on where it goes, so it's either going to go here, 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 or here, just depending on how you accurately place it. I can't necessarily tell you how it's going to happen, but usually it's going, you're more going for power, not accuracy. Now when you're hitting it and you're leaning over the ball, usually it's more accurate than usual. This is the position when you're hitting the ball. You're gonna have to position yourself like that. So when you're running up to the ball, it's gonna be like this. Compared to that's more accurate, but also powerful, depending on how strong of a shot you have. This is going to be more powerful like this, or more accurate. And then when you're shooting, you're gonna be like this for more power. You can definitely tell the difference when you're hitting the ball and actually when you're taught it. So that's the ideal way of hitting or shooting and passing a ball. Now, juggling is very hard when you're first starting it, especially when you're a child or when you're much older, or maybe somebody like me in my age range. It's definitely not going to be an easy step. So for me, I've done it for years, so it just comes normal to me. Whenever we go to the practice field, it's way easier to just start juggling, and that's how I get my touches on the ball. So I'm going to teach you. Usually people will drag the ball back and actually pick it up like this with their foot. You can do that. You can do many other ways. For me, sometimes I'll just go up to the ball and pick it up and scoop it. So that is, you can do any sort of technique like that, but usually I will drag back and start juggling. Usually you want to keep it on the end of your toe, on the end of your foot, usually right in this area. And you're gonna have to be consistent. You're gonna bend your knees. You can juggle when you're juggling. So I'm gonna use the ball again. When you're juggling, you can keep your knees straight, but it's definitely going to look weird. You're going to look like a penguin and flopping everywhere. When you're juggling though, I'm gonna pretend to have the ball, but when you have the ball, you're gonna drag it up depending on how you can do it. And when you kick it up, you're gonna look like this, kind of like moving your legs back and forth and like stretching your legs. Your legs are gonna be bent, your knees are gonna be bent, but you're like flicking your legs. It's almost like that. So for instance, this is what it's gonna look like. And obviously I can do a lot more, but that is the basics of soccer. Well, the basics of passing, shooting, and juggling. And those, I think, are the 3 key aspects in really learning how to play and knowing how to play football or soccer. And that is how I can teach you and hopefully spread into a more advanced level for other people in growing situations. So that is my speech on how to play.